One of my favorite aha moments as a teacher came in front of a blackboard. I was writing and talking and talking and writing, and I turned around to answer the math classic question of, and when will we use this? That's when I knew I had to bring math to life. So that's where project-based learning comes into play. My colleague and I, Sean Corey, both believe that the traditional method of passively learning and reciting facts out of context does not exactly motivate learners to thrive. On the other hand, real-world math problems teaches them the fundamentals of reading, writing, computation, but more importantly, the habits that foster the mind that they need to survive and to thrive in the real world. So with that in mind, they are able to problem solve, think critically, and able to grasp ideas with grit and with a growth mindset. Educational researcher Dr. Sylvia Shard said it best. One of the major advantages of project work is that it makes school more like real life. It's an in-depth investigation of a real-world topic worthy of children's attention and effort. So over the summer, Sean and I started developing 60 projects that we will work with the middle school teachers. We have in mind to create 10 engaging projects for each of the 6 middle school courses. Projects move students, and we know it moves them from passive listeners to active participants. And what that does is drives their research and their collaborative skills, which ultimately leads to deeper understanding of the context and full engagement in math. One of these recent projects that we worked on not only included baking, but rational numbers, and they were able to budget. So I'm gonna have Joy tell you a little bit about her experience.
I really enjoyed the baking project. This is a project where we acted as caterers for Miss Burkhalter's party. As a group, we need to figure out how to double and triple recipes, and we actually baked cookies. This project was fun and challenging, and it showed us how fractions are important in the real world. My favorite part was how my group worked together to figure out fractions in the recipe and how much it would cost.
These projects teach students that numbers and symbols can mean something much more than just answers. They teach students that doing math is a process of sense-making. In addition to solving complex problems, students are rewarded with the feeling of accomplishment when they've crossed a threshold of understanding. Some of the projects we've already done this year include baking fractions, Angletown, Lini Golf, and the Factorization project, just to name a few. We also shifted into high gear with the bike project. Phase 1 of the bike project, get your hands dirty. Go home and measure everything on your bike and draw a diagram of it. Phase 2, how do gears work? Use proportional reasoning, modular arithmetic, and ratios to calculate things like speed, chain length, and tire wear on fixed gear bikes. Phase 3, design and customize the perfect bike for you. For instance, students learned that bikes with low gear ratios are great for climbing hills and going off-road. They also learned that bikes with high gear ratios are sweet for touring and top speeds. Declan, take us to the finish line.
In class, we used a disassembled bike to learn about gear ratios, which help you figure out many things. How fast do you think Alan is moving right now? We eventually figured out that if you multiply his gear ratio, 2-to-1, times his cadence, 60 rotations per minute, and then multiply that by his wheel circumference of 85 inches, you can tell how fast he's moving. All right, how many of you guys guessed 10,000 inches per minute? Okay, well, if you did, then you were right. It's about 9.5 miles per hour. I can honestly say that it's awesome to be pedaling and riding on a real bike in math class.